answer to their original prophetic role.
Kami, ang mga obispo, ay naniniwala na base sa aming pagtimbang bilang mga pastor sa katatapos na halalan, maliwanag na ang sinikap sabihin ng mga mamamayan. Ang paraan ng pagdaraos ng halalan sa aming paghatol matapos na timbangin ang mga bagay-bagay. Ang pandaraya sa botohan ay walang katapat.
The people had kept the peace even in the most violent elections in Philippine history. Now, they were ready for more drastic measures.
I ask you to boycott 7 banks who have helped the usurper perpetuate his hold on power. I ask you to boycott San Miguel products.
What we are witnessing is an unedited, unique political experience. For the first time, after an electoral exercise, you have the massive participation of people in an effort to bring about the end of a dictatorship to a large democratic space through a militant, non-violent process. I do not know of any situation in the third world or in Latin America where such a massive outpouring of outrage and commitment, conversion, courage, commitment has taken place after an electoral exercise that people wanted to see through to the end.
Six days after the call for a nationwide civil disobedience, history took a turn that jolted the nation when powerful voices suddenly spoke from an unexpected quarter. Within the military establishment.
The fact is that there was a report that we are going to be arrested, all of us, and if we are going to be arrested, we know what that means. And we have the members of the reform movement.
I am with Minister Enrile, and the reason for my being here, ladies and gentlemen, is that because the armed forces of the Philippines has ceased to be the real armed forces of the Philippines, which is supposed to be the defender of public safety and enforcer of the law.
There had been some anomalies committed during the election. And I searched my conscience and I felt that I could not serve a government that is not expressive of the sovereign will. As of now, I cannot in conscience recognize the President as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And I am appealing to my brother members of the cabinet to heed the will of the people expressed during the last election, because in my own region I know that we cheated the election to the extent of 350,000 votes.
Minister Enrile and those with him have appealed for food and expressions of support. Those of you who wish to help should do so.
The people did not only heed the Cardinal's call, they also ended years of fear and hatred for the men in uniform.
What is happening is not a coup d'etat, but a revolution of the people.
Challenging the martial law machinery with their lives, the men of the reform movement, a mere 1,000 in the bloated numbers of the armed forces, had become one with their countrymen at a turning point in Philippine history. Marcos called it a conspiracy, producing witnesses whom he said had been ordered to attack and isolate him in Malacanang Palace in a coup d'etat. But If it was a coup, it had the blessings of the church and the Filipino people, a rebellion that became a moment of consecration.
We really would like to tell you that the prayers of the Catholic people are behind you. We've been praying for your safety at Mass this morning, and this whole day the people are praying for you. And we hope that nothing happens to you, and that through what you are doing, the Filipino people may be helped, may be saved from their very sad predicament.
The people converged on Manila's main highway in numbers that gradually swelled to the millions, forming a shield for Ramos and Enrile as they transferred their rebel headquarters to Camcrame across the street. The conquering strength of love and nonviolence in full force now unified the throngs in what the world would call people power. This people power would be severely tested on the afternoon of Sunday, February 23, with the appearance of Marines ordered to cut through the crowds in tanks and attack the rebel headquarters in Camcrame. It was a direct encounter between weapons of war and weapons of peace. Quickly, the people set up a barricade of buses on the path of attack. They surrounded the tanks, imploring the Marcos loyalists to see it their way. Before had the Filipino soldier engaged in a battle such as this. General Artemio Tadiar, commander of these forces, would find himself surrounded.
Let him think. Let us all think.
I am told to go to jail while the project is to go to jail.
The trouble
If you
is
go there, sir,
between here and there.
you will provoke a battle. A lot of people will die. Because we don't
There is a chance. There is a chance. A slight chance that maybe it could be in your conscience for life.
You want to go there because you want to negotiate?
I am not yet. I am not yet. I am not yet.
Mrs. Kwango will accompany you.
I am not yet authorized by the president to negotiate. So can I? We are peaceful men. We never.
But your men don't look peaceful with all the guns. They don't have. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
But this was war. And by Sunday morning, the Catholic station Radio Veritas, the only station broadcasting for the rebels, would be immobilized by Marcos forces, making a transfer necessary to a secret place they called DZRB, Radio Bandido, the new message center for the rebels in their most trying hours.
Yes?
Monday morning, February 24, began with an announcement over Radio Bandido that Marcos had fled with his family. This was relayed to the crowds at Camp Crame by a jubilant General Ramos. People rushed towards Malacanang Palace, eagerly destroying the barricades that kept them away through the Marcos years. The announcement had come too soon. Marcos was still very much around. He would later put on a show on television to prove it.
We have come here. We are sorry, Mr. President, to butt into your program. We just wanted to show you that we are still here and that we are strong and that organized and ready to neutralize any force. The Air Force is ready to mount an air attack. We request the civilians to leave the vicinity of Camp Crame immediately, Mr. President. That's why I come here in your orders, so we can immediately strike them. We have to mobilize the helicopters that they got. We have 2 fighter planes flying now to strike at any time. So with your order, sir,
my order
we
is
plead that all
not
civilians
to
leave the area.
attack. No, you hold on. You're not to attack.
Sir, we are left with no option but to
yes.
do so.
But you
Our negotiations and our prior dialogues have not succeeded, Mr. President.
we may have to reach the point where we will employ heavy weapons, but you utilize the small weapons and hand or shoulder weapons in the meantime. My order is to disperse
We cannot
the crowd
withdraw all the time, Mr. President. We
without
must.
shooting them. No, hold on. You disperse the crowd without shooting them. You may use any other weapon.
We will carry your orders, sir.
Yes.
In a war where people power was the most crucial element, the urgency of informing the people of developments in the battlefield made the seizure of more media facilities necessary. Soon the rebels had not only Radio Bandido, but also the government's largest television station, Channel 4. More dramatic developments hovered over Camp Crame. Enrile and Ramos had feared an air attack. That Monday morning, these